General Hospital shocker. Ironically, Cody is Joe's biological father. Port Charles stunned by explosive DNA twist. Port Charles is no stranger to jaw-dropping revelations, but this one might be the most ironic twist yet. In a turn of events no one saw coming, least of all the characters themselves, Cody Bell has been revealed as the biological father of Gio, the charming young man recently making waves around town. What started as a quiet connection between Gio and the Quartermaines has now spiraled into a paternity scandal that's bound to shake the foundation of Port Charles forever. This is General Hospital, after all, where secrets never stay buried for long, DNA never lies, except when tampered with, and fate loves to play cruel tricks on the unsuspecting. Let's break down how this twist came to be, who's impacted, and what comes next for Cody, Gio, and everyone caught in the emotional crossfire. Gio Mancini first arrived in Port Charles as a mystery man with charm to spare and a story he didn't seem too eager to share. While Brooklyn Quartermaine took him under her wing, calling him a family friend from Bensonhurst, viewers quickly picked up on clues that his history was more complicated than anyone let on. He had a natural way with horses at the Quartermaine stables, a talent that intrigued Cody Bell, who was immediately drawn to Gio in a strange, paternal sort of way. Cody's gut told him there was more to the kid than met the eye. The connection was uncanny. They looked alike. They moved alike. Even their laugh had an eerie similarity. At first, Cody chalked it up to coincidence. After all, this was Port Charles, a town teeming with long-lost relatives. But a seed had been planted, and it would soon grow into a truth that no one was ready for. Sasha Gilmore, still navigating her complicated friendship with Cody, noticed his fixation on Gio and gently confronted him about it. Cody admitted he had a strange sense of familiarity when it came to the boy, like he'd known him forever. Sasha, ever the truth-seeker since her own harrowing experiences with deception, suggested they take a paternity test to lay the matter to rest. Cody was reluctant at first. What if it was nothing? What if he was just projecting because of all the chaos in his own past? But deep down, he knew. Behind closed doors at GH, Cody submitted to a secret DNA test, enlisting Spinelli's help to avoid the usual gossip mill. Spinelli, always loyal and curious, was shocked by the result, a 99.99% match. Gio was Cody's biological son. As the news sank in, memories Cody had long buried began to resurface. Years ago, during a particularly wild time in his life on the rodeo circuit, Cody had a brief but passionate relationship with a woman named Isabella Mancini, a fiery Italian horse trainer he'd met in Siena. Their fling was short-lived, and when Cody left Italy to return to the States, he never looked back, assuming Isabella had moved on, never imagining she'd had a child. Apparently, she had. And she had kept Gio a secret all these years. According to Spinelli's quiet research, Isabella had passed away in a tragic car accident 3 years ago. Gio had no other family, at least none he knew about. Brooklyn had stepped in as a guardian figure when Isabella asked her to help Gio find a new life in America, but even she didn't know who the father was. In one of the most emotionally charged scenes of the year, Cody confronted Brooklyn at the Quartermaine mansion. He was angry. He was hurt. He was terrified. "Did you know?" Cody demanded, slamming the DNA results on the table. "Did you know he was mine?" Brooklyn, stunned and visibly shaken, swore she had no idea. She had promised Isabella she'd protect Gio, help him acclimate to life in Port Charles, but Isabella had never revealed the boy's parentage. She thought Gio was an orphan, not the son of one of her closest friends. The tension between Cody and Brooklyn escalated quickly, with Ned and Olivia stepping in to calm things down. Lois, who had also developed a soft spot for Gio, was the voice of reason. She urged Cody to think of Gio, not just as a bombshell revelation, but as a young man in need of love, stability, and truth. When Cody finally worked up the courage to tell Gio the truth, the moment was nothing short of gut-wrenching. The two met at the stables, the place where their bond had unknowingly first started. Cody hesitated, then spoke from the heart. "I don't know how to say this except plain, Gio, I'm your father." The young man blinked in disbelief, clearly thinking it was a joke. When Cody handed him the DNA results and shared details about Isabella, the look on Joe's face shifted from confusion to pain. "You knew my mother?" Gio whispered. "I loved her once," Cody admitted. "And I didn't know. If I had known, I would have been there." The silence that followed was deafening. Gio walked away, overwhelmed, needing time to process. For a young man who already felt unmoored in Port Charles, the news was destabilizing. As with any major revelation in Port Charles, the ripple effects were immediate. Max Scorpio was hit the hardest. After finally warming up to Cody and accepting him as family, the idea that Cody was now a father felt surreal. He couldn't help but draw parallels to his own complicated history with fatherhood, and it made him wonder what kind of legacy he'd passed on to Cody. Sasha was heartbroken but supportive. She watched Cody try to navigate fatherhood with trembling hands, and it reminded her of what she lost with Liam. Rather than withdrawing, she offered to help, standing by Cody's side as he took the first uncertain steps into parenthood. Maxie Jones had a warning. "Parenting is hard, Cody. It's not about making up for lost time. It's about being there every single day, especially when it's hard." Joe's initial response was to retreat, but it didn't take long for his anger to turn into defiance. He started pulling away from Brooklyn, cutting school, and even getting into a fight at Rice Park. He told Chase during a tense encounter, "Everything I thought I knew about my life is a lie. My mom's gone. My dad's some guy who didn't even remember her. Why should I care?" Chase, now back on the force and acting more like a big brother than a cop, tried to reach him. "You care because you're a good kid, Gio. And somewhere deep down, you want to believe this family you've built here means something." But Gio wasn't ready to hear that yet. Cody knew he couldn't undo the past, but he also knew he had to earn Joe's trust, not demand it. With Sasha's encouragement, he started showing up, consistently, helping Gio with horse training, leaving notes, texting jokes, telling him about Isabella and their time together. Slowly, Gio stopped pushing him away. The breakthrough came during a Quartermain barbecue, when Cody stood up and gave a speech, not about the past, but about the future. "I wasn't there for the beginning of Joe's story," he said, voice trembling. "But I want to be there for the rest of it." Gio, watching from the sidelines, walked over and simply said, "Okay." With the truth out and wounds beginning to heal, the Cody-Gio story has opened a powerful new chapter for both characters. Cody, once a wanderer without purpose, now finds his life anchored by a son he never knew he had. Gio, once lost, now has roots, however unexpected they may be. Even the Quartermains, infamous for their dysfunction, have embraced Gio and Cody in a rare display of unity. Olivia and Lois are already bickering about who gets to throw Joe's next birthday party, while Brooklyn is helping them navigate life at the mansion. And Mac? He's quietly proud of Cody. "You did good, son," he said, clasping Cody's shoulder. In a town defined by long-lost twins, surprise returns from the dead, and mistaken identities, the revelation that Cody is Joe's father feels both ironic and fitting. It's ironic because Cody, who has spent most of his life running from responsibility, is now being offered the most important one of all. And it's fitting because General Hospital has always been about one thing at its core: family. Whether by blood, by choice, or by fate, Port Charles continues to prove that the bonds we form, however twisted or unexpected, are the ones that define us.
So, what comes next?
Whispers say a custody battle might be brewing over Joe's legal guardianship. Others hint that Cody's newfound fatherhood could make him a target for old enemies. But one thing is clear: Port Charles has a new father-son duo, and they're just getting started.